On the mutiny thing they use. Really, I get to mutiny, bro.
Oh man.
Welcome to the Do Drums podcast.
Where we do drums and that's all we do. Sorry.
Is that all we do? That's not all we do.
I know, I'm joking.
This guy. Welcome to the Do Drums podcast. We're your hosts, Robert McIntosh and Nathan Green. So this week's quote is from Ringo Starr. And it basically says, drumming is my middle name.
Wait. Drumming's not all we do. Drumming's my middle name. Yeah, man. That is funny.
Take from that what you will. Drumming is my middle name. I mean, he's one of the richest drummers
I think
ever.
he is.
One of.
Is he not the richest drummer? I thought he was. But, wait, hold on. Drumming was...
Ringo Starr, the drummer of the Beatles.
It's okay.
We sure you know him?
I do know him.
You sure?
I was thinking of someone else. I thought he did something else other than play drums.
He sang a little bit on.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure he was also the voice.
I'm pretty sure that's why he's one of the richest, because it wasn't just playing drums.
Thomas the Tank Engine. I think he did the voiceover for that.
Swear down.
The original.
What's this podcast about?
This particular podcast, which we have been waiting for the longest, is basically about Pocket versus Chops. Pocket versus Chops. Now, I don't like those terminologies.
How come?
This is just a personal conviction, because I don't think it tells the whole story.
How so?
So, when I was younger, people would reference the pocket.
Yeah.
Oh, stay in the pocket, man. Just, one drummer that I knew was, he would, apparently he'd be on a session and guys would be like,
Yeah.
this time not even wearing shirts, Pocket.
Wow.
I guess it's because they couldn't stand up and go.
Yeah.
But as a young drummer, that would probably just mean to play less. So what I'm trying to say is that that's not the whole story. Let me give you a great examples. If you're listening to different genres of music,
Yes.
different genres of music require different things. I am not expecting to hear gospel chops on a country song. To an extent. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I'm not, you know what I mean? So for me, when we talk pocket versus chops, there's a bigger conversation to be had. I think we boil it down to be like, oh, I'm just playing pocket, or he's just a chop drummer, or he's just a pocket drummer. No, it's much bigger than that for me personally.
Yeah.
So the conversation that I'm trying to have is the whole idea of what is pocket, what is chops, and actually what I would prefer to use instead of pocket versus chops.
As in, what terminology would you prefer?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I would prefer to use the term musicality.
Or like, I was gonna say versatility. Or what was the other word I was thinking of? Versatility is the right word, because I think what you're saying is, when it comes to pocket, there's no context there, is there?
Exactly.
So like, if you're a versatile drummer, it means that you could go from playing gospel Well, even if you just take gospel or take one style, depending on the song that you're playing in that genre, it would depend on how busy you are. You know what I'm saying? Because someone could take a gospel song and be like, that drummer is just chopping. But that might be what the artist required of him. Whereas you could take another gospel song, same genre, but the drummer's just playing the groove, and that was what was required of him. So both could be technically playing within the pocket that they were given, but there was just a context there that we didn't have.
Yeah, I agree. Context is extremely important, and on the vibe of context, jazz drummers,
Oh yeah.
for certain types of jazz, heavy jazz like avant-garde, bruh.
I'm just thinking about one particular person.
Really? Do I know this person? Oh gosh. Tell me after, or you can tell me now and I'll beep it out.
In our lectures.
And that was him at that was him at half, bro. That wasn't even him.
Oh, that is funny.
Oh, he was so good. If you think of like Tony Williams, Buddy Rich, them guys there or whatever, I wouldn't say, oh, he's not in the pocket. Because that style, as you just said before, requires them to play certain phrases, certain phrases that makes up that genre, whether they're pushing, dragging, or just being very artistic with it. This is what I said to you in last episode. One of my favorite genres, if not my favorite genres of music, has to be contemporary jazz.
Yeah.
Because of the way that it just opens up in experimental between you, other musicians as you're playing. I just love it.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I just do. So the point that I'm trying to get to is this whole thing of, as a drummer, you are responsible for a lot of different things in different genres of music, but you're not just a timekeeper. You are foundational, and like, you know, it's so important that you have an understanding, a musical understanding of what's going on.
Yes.
Because from that, you can then begin to grow or decrease a song. We was talking about velocities earlier on, like, you know, hitting cymbals, even the way you hit a drum or the performance of the drum. So for me, that's extremely important. For instance, if you're playing like a normal song in a normal groove, and you're just playing maybe just eighth notes, you're like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, and then I go into 30-second notes drums, feel and then back to eighth notes.
Yeah.
It feels rushed. It feels abrupt. It feels like it doesn't fit.
That feels like out of pocket.
Get out. Leave the studio.
No, but in context of what is pocket, that would, in my opinion, be out of the pocket.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If I said to you 10 years ago,
Yeah.
I need more pocket, man, how would you interpret that?
It depends what I was already doing. Because if I was already playing the groove and then you said you need more pocket, I'd be thinking, what do you want me to do now? Because that's what I was doing. I would say you want me to play simpler, more of a simple beat than I was playing. If I was already chopping or doing that stuff, then I would say, okay, maybe you want me to not do that and stick to the groove. So exactly how you was just saying it, if I was already grooving and I was doing some stuff on the hi-hats, then maybe I'd say, okay, maybe you just want me to tone that back. It would depend on what I'm already playing. You know what I mean? But again, if there's no one to... If the person hasn't communicated it properly and just said, I need you to play more pocket, you could get confused very quickly because there's not much context to that. Like, so you just want me to play the groove? But if I'm already playing the groove, what exactly do you want me? Do you want me to play less hi-hat? Do you want me to play quieter? You know what I mean? What do you want me to do, bruv? Because, you know what I mean? Obviously, you can think about it and kind of adjust yourself based upon what you're already playing. But
if you're conscious and aware,
if you know the person well as well, you know what I mean? Because like with the people that I play with a lot, they may say, play more straight or play the pocket. I kind of understand what they're talking about because I know them.
Yeah.
But if I'm with someone else that I don't know and they just say, I need you to play more pocket, but I felt like that's what I was already doing, I'd have to ask them and be like, what exactly do you want from me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which I can appreciate MDs that can articulate that in the moment, which can be difficult. I can appreciate that, to be playing your instrument and also giving out some instructions. Some people have a knack for it and have the flow.
Yeah.
Some people don't. It's a skill. Like, it's definitely a skill. I find that me personally, it's the older guys saying to the young guys, you just need to play more pocket, man. It's like, can I get a little more explanation and can we make it personalized to that individual? Because what you mean for that individual and the way that they play, that's a different thing. For the whole, because I'm not talking about a general statement now. I'm not saying like I'm not saying an old head that's just like, these young guys, man, all they do is chuck these days.
I know what you mean.
I mean, like,
you're not there's nothing wrong with them saying it. You're just saying there's not a lot of explanation. You'd have to kind of guess what they mean. But I think that's not just down to like pocket and chops. That could be down to a lot of things in music. That's very subjective. Because, like, for example, if you're a mixing engineer and you're saying, or if you're a mixing engineer and you're artist and you're saying, yeah, in this section, I just need it to be more warm. What the heck does warm mean? Like, we all hear it.
Just turn up the heat in the room, bro, 'cause it's cold.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like, we all have a definition of what warm is, but we all don't know whether all of our definitions are the same. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if I think something's too harsh, I don't know if what I think is harsh translates to what you think is harsh. You feel what I'm saying? So it's the same thing that you're trying to say with pocket, is like, not everyone might think the exact same thing. But I think, though, it might come down to an experience thing on the part of the person that's playing. Because if someone says to the drummer, we need you to play more pocket, then that might be down to you to try and your best to interpretate that, trying to be self-aware of what you're doing and what you're already playing. I think sometimes as drummers, we don't necessarily, unless we've been playing in like certain like certain genres or in certain places where you have to play parts. If you don't think about what you're playing as like parts for the music, you might just be playing stuff, and then you might not be self-aware of what you're doing. You know what I mean? So like, if you're playing a song and someone stops you and it says, sorry, what are you playing again? If you can't just play what you're playing, then maybe you have to think, okay, cool, I need to rethink what I'm doing or change how I'm doing things. Because then if I know exactly what I'm playing, if I'm playing a part and someone says, oh, I need you to play more in the pocket, then I should be able to evaluate like, okay, cool. Even if they don't say anything more, because might not have that relationship with them or whatever, I might need to be like, what am I playing? And try and analyze that. And these things are in seconds because you might start back up again.
Mm-hmm.
Analyze what I'm playing and be like, hey, cool, what can I change to make this kind of fit more? Or you might have to think about what everyone else is playing. The bass player might be doing something, or the brass might be playing something that might be able to catch on to, that you can kind of, like a jigsaw, kind of slot in your part so it's kind of holding everything else together. And you might have to think like that. So I feel like it might not, what you're saying is right, but it might be the case of like, as a drummer, you might need to think more overall picture.
Holistically.
Yeah.
You know, I think those are great points that you brought up. And I think I became more aware of playing parts because I think my journey would have began as playing a rhythm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm playing this genre, I'm going to play this rhythm.
Yeah.
Especially like in church where it's just like, this is a Caribbean feel, you're going to play this.
Yeah.
This is going to be a waltz, I'm going to play the waltz.
Yeah.
This is going to be like a shuffle, you're going to play the shuffle, so you're going to fit everything that fits within that.
For sure, yeah.
That then now changes when you're learning specific songs.
Yeah.
Or when I had to learn, when I first started to do the function stuff, I had to learn the specific groove to that song, Ain't Nobody. Let's give that as an example, yeah? There's a specific groove that you play, you know what I mean? If you want to play authentically. And to be honest, I actually found great pleasure in learning the specific grooves of each song because it's like, this is how it was written, so it can't be wrong.
Yeah.
Until somebody says, that's not the feel we're trying to go for here, which is fine.
Yeah.
But at least you've got a foundation of this is how it is going to be, and there's a certain intensity. Mm-hmm. Or, okay, cool, so this is going to be the certain musicality that I'm expecting. And then my drum fills are going to fit around that as well.
Exactly, yeah.
You hear what I'm saying? So I would definitely say, coming from, okay, you're just playing this specific rhythm to now we're going to play this. Musically, now I'm thinking, okay, so I need to think about fills that are going to do this.
Yeah, support it, innit?
Support it much more. I remember a specific instance, even with yourself, I think I was recording drums here, and I was asking for some advice, and you said, when you play your fills going into the verse, do a fill that basically shows dynamically you're going into a verse.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you're like going into a verse and it's something quite flashy, you're not representing that you're bringing the music down to go into the next section.
Yeah.
Whereas going from maybe a verse to a pre-chorus or pre-chorus to the chorus, you may want to add in something like that because you're not transitioning into a verse where it's somewhat coming down, you're going up.
Yeah, it all kind of comes into like you're playing for the music, innit? Essentially, and you're supporting the song in a way that makes sense. You know what I mean? So if the song's going up, what you do helps to bridge that gap. And if the song's coming down, again, it helps to bridge the gap. Like you, and also one of the main things with dynamics and the different sections is you want to make sure that people understand this is a different section of the song.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And I think like that's where I don't like the differences between pocket and chops, because pocket can include chops or fills or whatever as long as it's supporting. You know what I mean? Especially on a live stage, for example, you want things to feel live and you want some songs to have energy, and that might include you setting up a particular hit a certain way. You know what I mean? Like if you're playing and then there's like a brass line and some hits that everyone catches, it would probably be appropriate for the drums to set that up in a particular way. And you might want to use a fill, some type of roll or chop to get into that. And like you was talking about, like, if you were just doing like, if you were having like 8 notes or whatever, and then now you're going into 16ths, it's okay to do that as long as you've got a proper way to get into that. You know what I mean? Because if you're going, that might not make any sense. But if you've got a way to transition you from one to the other, then you might be able to still support the song within that same role or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And those are great valid points because, and this is why I prefer the term musicality instead of pocket versus chops.
Mm-hmm.
I'm of the persuasion that you should learn everything that you are capable of learning.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? If you're interested in doing those chops and that thing, then that's fine. However, using it then becomes a whole different thing because it's like, you've got this. You've got a machine gun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Know how to use. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about guns. Maybe I should talk about something a little more.
You've got a Ferrari. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you just need to go to the corner shop.
Right.
I think you don't need to go 100 miles per hour to the corner shop.
Revving and popping flames on every corner.
Yeah. I just need to take a trip to Lidl today. And Lidl's 5 minutes from my house, so I don't need to go on the motorway. I just need to stick to the speed limit.
And don't park in the children's bay when you ain't got no child. That's all I'm saying.
Sorry, that's stupid. That's so dumb.
I'm still talking about music here.
That's so dumb. Don't park in the children's bay when you don't have a child.
You ain't got no kids?
Oh my goodness.
So,
Funny.
let's learn how to give a 1 millimeter gas. You know, my driving instructor used to say, just a pound's width, just a pound's width. just ease on in there. We're just gonna pull and push around the corners, pull and push.
Yeah.
But no, it's very important. But again, these are the sort of things that you have to realize, and everybody's journey is different. But I think when it becomes important to you, that's when you'll start to realize.
Yeah, if you get fired.
You know,
if you get fired from something,
some people get fired and just like, nah, it was all them. What do you mean? I was just doing my thing.
That's a bit wild, isn't it?
It happens.
But you know what? I was gonna say this, that because I think like we sometimes think negatively more on the chopping side, but some people do too little, which is often not spoken about, but it happens all the time because like it goes into the same thing because a lot of people that I work with will be saying like, there's nothing worse than playing with a drummer that doesn't even know how to open a hi-hat. Like, they'll be in the chorus and it's still feeling like a verse.
This was one of the big things that Ruben Reynolds was onto me for the longest because, again, from this graduation thing that I've had, I'm playing certain rhythms, so I'm just doing that sort of thing, and maybe I'm advancing the song a bit more. But when I started to do professional stuff, I was like, I want to learn it exactly how it is on the track.
Yeah.
Now, if you think about something like, if you're thinking about Ain't Nobody as an example, there is no open hi-hat on Ain't Nobody in the chorus.
Yeah.
There's no open hi-hat in the bridge. It's all closed hi-hat for the entire thing because it was, thing. But Ruben would be like, he'd just like, just from the side, just do that.
Yeah.
I don't think the camera caught that. I'll wait till it comes back to me. There we go, like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he'd be like, just open it up.
Yeah.
Or he'll say down to open it, just open it up a bit more, which is terminology that I would hear a lot often.
Yeah. But
just open it up a bit more.
Even in like a lot of Michael Jackson songs, there's no crashes. But
yeah.
and that was someone recording. It wasn't like sample. But the thing is though, is recording and live
Two
two different heads
schools.
that you put on.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean? So for a if you're trying to get a studio sound, you play a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
When you come in live, then you have to translate that into live. You might need more energy and stuff like that. Things need to, because you think in a studio, you just have to do what they want you to do. And through production and soundscape and all of that, they can make things sound more open, make things sound more closed, more do the dynamics that way. But when you're live, you might not always be playing to track or whatever. You might need to do things manually.
You know what can be difficult about that is because I feel like 100%, and even like I can appreciate a drummer that can translate that into a live environment. What can become very interesting is when that drummer is now with a particular artist, and now this MD is just like, I don't hear none of those crashes. I just want to hear the main groove.
Yeah.
And then perhaps you get this, because you'll hear it a lot.
Yeah.
For me anyway, with the sort of stuff that I'm seeing, it's not necessarily all about it is that live energy, but it's just like, you've not played a crash in forever, bro.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
You get the opposite.
you won't be there for long if you get the opposite. You know what I mean? The opposite is technically, again, it's this whole just thinking about it from different standpoints, and this is why every playing situation is just different, and you have to take it for what it is at that point.
But that's the thing. That's why, like, good musicians are versatile because they can go from one thing to the other and it doesn't mess them up too much. You know what I mean? Like, they can be able to play in a situation where the MD's like, nah, we're just playing this, and that's just what we need for this. And then go into another situation with a different MD, and that MD's like, nah, we need everything. You know what I'm saying? And they can put those two heads on, and then they go to a different situation and different genre, and they're playing something completely different, and they can just do it. You know what I mean?
When I was a lot younger, I was always predominantly playing with older musicians.
Oh yeah.
Just older musicians through the church or whatever. And that's one of the only places where you can do that. You can be playing with a guy that's 50 odd, and you're 10.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Factual.
And they're killing. And I found that then their number one gripe mostly is this whole sort of thing of just playing too much. So in my earlier years, it was a lot of me just being like, okay, let me learn how to not cause offense and not get an earful about this.
But I think you've taken that into professional playing now, innit?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Trauma, bro. That's what it is. That's like the last episode when I was talking about the recording. That's what it is, bro. That's your trauma that you went through.
You know what? I remember, let's talk about record. Oh my gosh, this is a whole different episode. But let's talk about recording drums.
Yeah.
So I remember I was asked to record some drums for a particular project during the pandemic.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So this was in my old studio.
Yeah. I remember that.
Remember my old
Yes,
studio, bruv?
I do.
That thing was anyway. And so what I've known is the older stuff where it's just like, I just need you to play the beat. That's all I want you to do. No fills. I just want the beat.
Oh, was it gospel thing in it?
It was a gospel
I remember,
thing.
yeah.
You remember the story,
I
innit?
remember.
So I recorded these drums now. Because I've just got a particular way that I like to do things. So I've recorded the drums, sent the drums to the mixing engineer. Well, I sent it to one of the mixing engineers. And then I get a message now to say, what you've recorded is the backing track. We don't want the backing track. We want church.
Yeah.
Now that comes with a whole different separate elements because I'm thinking, oh, this is a professional thing. They want it clean. They want it just precise. So everybody does a bedrock for somebody to sit on.
Yeah.
They don't want that.
No.
They want it like how we do in church. They just want they wanted that live experience because people are locked up in home. They can't be, but they want it to feel that way. They don't want this pressed, this very clean. So I had to open up a bit more, which I didn't. I don't think it was the best. It really wasn't because
it wasn't comfortable.
Because I had convinced myself, nah, this is what everybody wants.
Yeah.
But it isn't.
Yeah.
So now I'm having to do something else because somebody else is asking, and it's exactly what you said. The best musicians, which I'm learning over time, are the ones that I'll be able to do that and it not mess them up so much.
Yeah. That's why, because I think in the last episode when we spoke about recording, and I said about remote recording being difficult because if you don't have prior conversations, you don't know what they want. And I think like that's one thing that I'm starting to learn more now is a thing of from the get-go, like, oh, what do you want from me?
Ask or I want a phone call, to be honest.
Yeah.
In an ideal world,
but
I
in
want
any
a phone
situation, recording or live, like, what do you want from me?
And a function gig.
Well, to be honest, not really on a function gig. But to be fair, I think like when I'm talking generally on this podcast, I'm not really talking about function gigs.
I know, I get it, bro.
But yeah, on most other gigs though, then it's like, what do you want from me? Because we might have two different. I might listen to the music and just be like, oh, that's what they need. Whereas it might be exact same as that situation where I sent you this as that's the backing track and I need you to lift the energy. And as the drums, that's what we need. You need. That's what might need to set the stance for that.
You know what's interesting, just on this point? I was listening to a podcast recently with Calvin Rogers.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember exactly who he was talking to, but it's a very, very recently podcast. I might put a link to it in the bio next to the Buy Me Coffee link. And basically, Calvin Rogers was basically talking about Thirsty.
Okay.
Which I first heard about Calvin Rogers from the Thirsty album.
Yeah.
And I was just sold. I was just like, this is like my favorite gospel drummer of all time.
Yeah.
And he says, and he claims that is basically known as his Mona Lisa. It's his best body of work.
Yeah.
He was basically saying that Aaron Lindsay was producing it. And he said he went in there with a certain method. He has a certain way that he records drums. And this is Calvin Rogers. Whatever he does is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
But he's saying that basically Aaron Lindsay was just like, you're playing the parts and it's great, but I want more, basically. Yeah. So obviously there's a few tracks on there where he says that he says actually that night he went home to the hotel room and he was cussing. He was vexed. And it's like, it's just, for me, it was the actualization of even professionals at the height of their game are still having these conversations.
Yeah. Definitely.
You know what I mean? Well, I think, at that point, it's just like, whatever. But he was just basically saying that, he had to adjust what he was doing. And I think that's, one of the reasons why it's become known as one of his, you know what I mean? And I think then, he's on a lot of different bodies and work, and I'm hearing that sort of vibe now where he'll do things where he would have never done before or whatever.
But you know what, though? To be fair, Calvin Rogers is a great example for this conversation.
Jeez.
Because when I started to hear about Pocket, it never made sense to me. Because Calvin Rogers is everybody's favorite drummer. And I used to think, there's something's off here.
He's not just playing the beat.
Something is off here, because I just thought Pocket was just this, just playing there. And I thought, this doesn't make any sense to me, because all the drummers that everybody loves, they're just famous for all the mad things that they can do. You know what I mean? But obviously then I got to learn that obviously they're doing those things at points where they was allowed to do it. You know what I mean? Or some of them have been doing it for a long period of time to where they're trusted now to do those things. Because I think like
Same chaps, you know,
I mean,
bruv.
I was listening to another podcast from Calvin.
Okay.
And at a time where he was playing for Fred Hammond, and he said that sometimes he'll just be doing whatever he wanted, and he said, but he knew that there was a look that Fred used to give him, and that meant calm down, and then he would just carry on, and you know, but he had that freedom because obviously his body of work's mad in it, so he's probably one of the only people in the world that has that amount of freedom to do whatever he wants. Because listen, yeah, when you get to a point, yeah, where no matter how big the artist is and they start the song by saying your name, it's crazy. How many artists, how many gospel artists have started their song by saying Calvin?
Let's go, Calvin.
Yeah. Do you know how mad that is?
Bro. If that ever happens for me one day.
Don't even say my name. I don't even want you to say my name. I don't want to be that good.
Listen,
Nah, I'm lying.
If they call my name,
I'm lying. I'm lying.
the respect level I want.
I'll stop and I'll be like, yeah, that's me. That is me. I start speaking into the mic. I'm like, yeah, exactly.
I'm like, it's about time.
Yeah. About time someone start appreciating me. Nathan Grass, I'll start saying it myself.
Fees gone up, bruv. Fees have gone up. Don't call me less than a foul. Don't call me less.
Fees gone up is funny, you know. Nathan, let's go. Nah.
One time, bro. On a multi-platinum solid album.
I can't lie. If someone messaged me asking me to play for them, I'd just send them that clip. I'd send them that clip.
And then fees gone up at the bottom.
Yeah, fee has gone up. That's stupid. Anyway.
Oh, that's hilarious. But yeah, so Pocket versus Chops. Younger drummers, including myself.
You're not young.
I'm really not. They call me Unc now.
You are? You are Unc. That's crazy.
That's crazy,
That
bro.
is crazy. You know what? On most of my gigs, I'm still the youngest. But to be fair, some of the gigs I'm doing, they are exceptionally older than me. If the thing is, I know I can say that because they're not going to watch this.
You think I'm not going to just send them a link?
You don't know who I'm talking about.
I know exactly who you're talking about. I'ma send that.
They have grandkids.
Yeah, I got their numbers, bro. Don't worry about. I'm gonna tag the part where fees gone up as well.
I got like when I meet them and I get on the bus, I'm like, back with these old people again. Whenever I can get it in, I'll get it in. I can't even lie.
Like daycare.
Back with these. Daycare, stupid. They're looking after me. Yo, that is funny.
Listen, yeah, but I'll say still most of the gigs that I'm doing are still kind of with young people, but I have noticed like younger because obviously I'm now I'm 30, so now I'm seeing like 20 year olds come
it's
through.
mad still.
And
It makes me think. It makes me question myself. It genuinely makes me question myself. I can't lie. It because Perry's covered me on the Luther thing. And like sometimes I forget how young he is, and I used to think like, it was only yesterday I was in his position, and I'm just like, how is he that good at that age? You know what I mean? Like I'm like, how is he that good at that age?
Listen,
and I just have to think about my life and just be like,
listen. I saw Perry play one time. I think this was at Cuban Embassy, and I saw him play. And I was on that gig the next week, innit? Because he came to drum solo time.
Oh, he came to your gig.
No. He was. So I went
you
to
was
his
at his gig.
Yeah, I was at his gig. And it comes to drum solo time.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
I can't lie, yeah. I can't lie, and I have to make this a disclaimer. You're not gonna see me at other people's gigs, and it's not even because I don't support you, but I support my own mental health more. I support my own mental health more. Now because I've been thinking to myself like, wow, like these guys are actually too good, to the point where I'm like, how do, like, what else do I have? Like, what else do I have? Because at this point, and the thing is, it's not like with Perry, for example, yeah, it's not even like he's like just talented, but he plays his age.
That's right.
He plays like a grown man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like he plays sensible, but then whatever he wants to do, he can just do it. With me, I think about something and then I'll go to do it and I think, actually, no, Nathan, you can't do that no more.
Well, this is the whole point I was trying to say. So I saw him do the drum solo. I was just like, this is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add this in.
You can't add it in.
I went in there, bruv. I went same gig next week. Tried
Who do you
it,
think you are?
bruv. I tried it, bruv.
But we can't do those things.
It was not in my cards.
This is the thing, yeah. The thing that annoys me is when I was younger and I could do half of the stuff that he could do.
Yeah.
I didn't sound like a grown up when I was playing. I sounded like someone that needed to calm down. Now I sound like a grown up. I can't even attempt to do a quarter of those things.
Bruv, his time will come though, so don't worry, bruv.
Yeah, it's not gonna come, bro.
It really will.
They're built differently.
They really are. But listen, we've got responsibility. We got full grown man responsibilities, bruv. Where you can't just
responsibility is funny. I bet my back will be pulled if I try to do some of those things. Nah, man.
The energy levels, bruv. If you want to see me start sweating, bruv, start doing the parenting. But listen,
it's wild.
Listen,
I can't believe it.
Listen,
and that also goes for some of the guys older than me. Like if I see Graham play, then I'm just like
listen, yeah. Graham Campbell, he is dear brother to me, dear brother. I call him the drummer's drummer. I don't care what anybody says, bro. Yeah. He is the drummer's drummer. Until this day, bro. If you need to be inspired, just listen to a clip to him. His timing,
his timing is crazy. Isn't it?
This thing could be at like 97.2. He's at 97.2
for
the entire track, and
there's no clip.
No clip, bro.
There's no clip.
He doesn't shift. But he says he was brought up by he was brought up by the Mandem. He was brought up by the OGs.
I was brought up by myself, though. I am joking, by the way.
I want to know who Perry was brought up by, because
same people that Graham was brought up by. Probably.
Clearly, bro.
I swear down, must have been. I'm being serious. A few of these man though are highly underrated in Birmingham. We've gone on off a tangent. I think we kind of finished the subject, but just some of these guys are highly underrated in Birmingham. And to be honest,
here we go.
If I'm being completely honest, yeah,
talk to me.
I feel like I am severely overrated.
What? Independent how I feel, I'll see if I edit this point out or not. But you need to start to put some respect on your name, bro.
I think I only think about it sometimes when I think about how good some other people are. And then I'll be like, raw. I'll just see clips every now and again in it. And I'll be like, yeah, these men are different. And I know my capabilities, and it's not that.
I wish it was. I wish it was all about that, but it's not, bruh.
Nah, I know. I know.
It's not. And you know, I know we're joking and jesting, bro.
I'm not joking.
Yes, you are.
I'm not joking.
But
Some of these guys, bro, like some of these guys are crazy.
I saw Conor White play the other day. I was just a little bit younger too, bro.
It's not even like
I could never.
the thing is, it's like sometimes, genuinely, sometimes I think what I have over the younger guys is maturity. But then when I think about some of the older guys, I'm like, actually, I don't. You're more mature. So
What do I have?
what do I have? And then you see some of the younger guys that are playing quite mature, and then you just think, yeah, I just need to hopefully keep the gigs that I have. And then,
Man said keep, you know. Nathan, you are first call for most
For the
if
gigs
not-
that
if not all the things, bro.
I'm first call for the gigs I already have.
And for other gigs, bro. Don't worry
That's
about
because
that.
they weren't available.
And, yeah. Anyway, let's finish up this episode, and I'm gonna.
I think I might have got cancelled on this.
cancel. You're not
On
editing this part out.
Yeah,
so
thanks. Thank you. Thank you. My life is in your hands now.
I don't know. I may put some B clips in, depending on how I'm feeling. This was episode 5. Pockets versus Chaps.
Yes.
And we
We have taken down that middle water partition.
just a little more understanding for the younger mandem and for the older mandem too, that start screaming at us on the same pocket, man. And
I never got that still.
I mean, as I said, it was more of a thing of just, I need more and I just need you to play pocket, because what can happen is that you can dampen a man's spirit so much.
Oh yeah, that has happened to me.
I lived there, bruv. I have lived there.
The dark places, bro.
Bruv, you're second guessing everything you're doing, bruv. You don't
Yeah.
want to hit, you don't do nothing. And that can come from a lack of understanding, and that can also be a personal thing where, well, it should be on you to just figure out and blah blah blah. Like, I hear that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
also understand that you're working with people as a whole, and musicians sometimes see things and feel things and who we are, and you know, that's a whole different thing, because that's a whole other conversation. Like,
Yeah.
some musicians see themselves as musicians and that's it.
Yeah.
I've been there, and then I've learned, actually, I'm a human being too.
Yeah,
Like, have you
yeah.
seen the movie Soul?
No.
It's worth a checking. It's a Pixar movie. It's supposed to be a kids movie, but it's really not.
I've seen bits of it, but yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it all.
Obviously, it's about this jazz musician, basically, that he's basically on the most important day of his life, basically kind of passes away. But then there's this whole thing that happens, and basically, to ruin it for everybody, spoiler alert, even if I do decide to put this out, is that nah, I ain't gonna put this out. But basically, the spoiler alert was that he realized that living life was also a thing, not just doing that, not just playing the next gig.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, when you're talking with, you know, people, I need to just end the episode.
Now you keep this in, just edit the other part out. Edit the parts out where I could get cancelled.
It depends how I feel. And I told you, I'm not trying to edit everything. That's why
You don't need to.
This is why we're going with these random flashes from the camera, bruv.
Well,
Have to deal with it until I figure it out. I'm hoping this isn't focused this time. I'm just hoping. That's all I got, bruv. Oh.
Well, that is the Do Drums podcast.
What I can do is literally do that, and that will stay on here. Never stop exploring drums.
Yes, and if you have made it to the end of this podcast, then you already know whether I'm cancelled or not.
Few do. Few really do.
So, yeah, man.
Please like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah.
And there's also going to be a link, isn't there, Nathan?
Yeah, where you could buy me drumsticks because I need it. Because I need it. Because my drumsticks wants to be £12 a stick or whatever it is
You're
now.
good, bro. All of them are 15. What do you mean? Anyway, yes, thank you very much. And anyway, yeah, never stop exploring drums.